it's not time to press the panic alarm on Wilfried Nancy. You'll need time. You'll need to bed in that system. You'll get his players used to it. Celtic will improve, you would like to think. So nobody's making a knee-jerk reaction or judgment on Wilfried Nancy. But I do think it's fair to say, we've talked about this, the big picture was this, the appointment and the timing of it, everything about it is a gamble. He's got a lack of experience, that constitutes a gamble. The fact that Martin O'Neill was in and not just minding the till and keeping things nudging along, he racked up 5 straight wins and he's way out the door. So to bring Nancy in for this particular game, the visit from Hearts at the top of the table, massive gamble.
I think if you identify a candidate, Keith, you've got to back him and bring him in. If you've identified a guy and then you're saying to him, well, do you just want to sit tight for 3 games because we don't really trust you for 3 of the biggest games of the first half of the season? You can't really do that, can you? If you identify him as the guy to take you forward, you have to believe in the fact that you give him the biggest games to start. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm just talking about from a club point of view, I think you have to.
I agree with that, Swanee, and I've said so myself. But there is a flip side to the argument. And the flip side to the argument is, would Martin O'Neill's Celtic have been so easy for Derek McInnes to outmanoeuvre today?
No. And sorry if I'm missing me bits of you, Keith. There's chaos going on here. So I
do feel, see, that one of the things that O'Neill did, the kind of secret to the success, if you like, the interim period, was do things more directly, do it quicker, don't mess about, get back to front when you have to, just get balls into the box, be more aggressive, be more front foot. Everything that O'Neill was trying to do to make Celtic a more dangerous, goal-scoring side, I felt it was a retro step in that first half today. Celtic played the ball, but they weren't doing what O'Neill would want to do with it. And I just felt that they became really boring and predictable in that first half, and Hearts were just thrown into it. That was a real bad first day at the office, and it now has presented the Celtic fans that worst case scenario. That a lot of them didn't want to see the back of Martin O'Neill. They loved what he did. They loved that period. But what they'd been hoping for would be that the new man would come in, pick up the mantle, pick up the gauntlet, go and get that first victory against Hearts to get Celtic stabilised and clear at the top of the table, and everyone looks after itself. So the worst case scenario was that Celtic go a backward step from what they were doing under O'Neill, that Hearts go, capitalise on it, get a win, and they've not been able to win matches. And so this is just the worst set of circumstances it could possibly have been for Celtic. And now he's got to try and stabilise it and get things together before the visit of Roma. And I tell you, he doesn't want to be sitting there on Thursday night playing with his fridge magnets on his wee tactical board if it's getting away from his team again on Thursday. That's not a great look, and it might be how he does it, and everybody's likes their own quirky methods, and people have got their mechanisms. But look, if you're saying
I've heard of this, Keith, was this on the TV pictures where we sit in the stand? We couldn't see in the technical area. Is this?
Swanee, this is the painful bit was.
All right, okay.
The camera kept zooming in on it.
Right.
So if you saw him moving around these wee tactics boards, if you saw it once, you must have saw it a dozen times, half a dozen.
He pulled over Cal McGregor and showed him them as well.
Yeah, and so listen, that's all well and good if it's working and you're winning games of football. If you're losing games of football and people are looking, what was the manager doing? And he's moving magnets about. Then that's not going to, in this horribly harsh environment of Scottish football, that will end up as, and it's already, you can already hear the comments. People are beating him over the head with it already in his first game.
What's interesting, Keith, as well, when you talk about managers working things out, you're looking ahead to Roma, but obviously the first domestic silverware of the season's on the line next Sunday, and Stephen Robinson's got a strong spine of a team, which can be very central, the way, centralise a game, and 3 strong centre-backs, and, Killian Phillips and big boys like that in the middle of the pitch, and the big guys up front.
Right.
They know how to, that's exactly, he'll be looking at that today and going, right, is that the way you play it? Okie doke.
Right.
That's
I imagine we'll set up a very similar template to what Derek McInnes did.
Swanee, actually spot on. If there was a team designed other than Hearts to cope with that, it's St Mirren all day long. just the Gogic in the middle of that. Just you throw everything you want at us. We'll deal with that centrally, and we'll hit you in the break.
Yeah,
I was sniggering a wee moment ago there, Keith, because he said, "Look, nobody's pressing the panic button now." But if you saw some of these comments that are coming into us, you might think differently. But see, before we go into all the Celtic comments, one guy we've not mentioned yet that I definitely think needs a pat in the back. Graham Steddon says Cammy Devlin's midfield display was one of the best ones at Celtic Park in many a year. Green Machine says Cammy Devlin's free top clubs in January. Celtic should go for him. I don't know about you guys. I thought he was immense today. I'm going to
say something right now. Here at this stage in the season, and I know it's come back to me at Christmas and all this. At this stage in the season, he's been the player of the first half of the season so far. I think he has been magnificent in that Hearts midfield. And once again today, just as he was back in October when Hearts beat Celtic at Tynecastle, he was a standout in that game. Same again today. The energy level's incredible. Getting about the pitch. And it's not. I think he's a bit more refined than he was. Cammy Devlin was just a wee attack dog, wasn't he? He's so much better.
That's not true. Derek McInnes just said that for the minute he's come in the door, that he's a better footballer than he thought he was. He's been quite open about saying that. And I think what was particularly impressive about Cammy Devlin today is I think he's had it a bit tough the last month or so because his sidekick, him and Benny Beningame earlier in the season were absolutely brilliant. And Beningame's been missing. And Beningame is such a big player, especially at an arena like this today. And I think it's made a difference to Hearts over the past month or so when they've dropped points, that Beningame's not been there. And Devlin's almost had to do the work of two men. Sure, Hearts fans will maybe argue and say the other boys have done fine. But Devlin was kind of having to do this dog work of two players today. Got some good help for Ocean McEntee in there as well. I thought, listen, Hearts had a plethora of good players today. I thought Shanklin was brilliant.
Right.
So intelligent. I know you always look at guys up front and your eyes drawn to them. And as you see, the defenders did what they had to do, head it, kicked it. You're kind of expecting that for guys like Stuart Finlay who are top class, dealing with situations like that. But Shanklin there's been a lot of criticism for the front players recently, but it was just, I know it was a mistake for Celtic for the first goal, but he's onto it right away. He's the one that gets away and sets the cross up, then he hits the shot to win the corner. He's just so intelligent and he drops in and helps make an extra body in there. So clever, he's just so smart.
Swanee, listen, I don't think it's any coincidence that the only defeat that Hearts have suffered so far this league season was against Aberdeen, and on that day Shanklin was out injured and Craig Halkett was out as well.
Yeah, and Angry was missing as well,
but the two of them made such a difference. I thought Halkett was just about pitch perfect today and everything that he did defensively. And you're right, Swanee, every time when the ball did work its way out up to Shanklin, his touch was great. He kept it in play. He linked with teammates. Really clever. Some of his passing really clever. That was a real top. And he'll probably be kicking himself because he never really get too much of a sniff at goal. But his all-round centre forward play today was terrific.
Yeah.
On the reaction coming in on Celtic, guys, let me throw a few of these comments at you. Mark says, let's be honest, we don't have the players for this formation. We need a ball-playing centre-back, physicality in midfield, craft and work rate out wide, and strikers who can be physical and clinical. David says, Keith, the chances Celtic miss were bloody disgusting. Anne says, Nancy will need to learn quickly. Results do matter, not the style of play, as I believe he said in his press conference.
That's not worrying.
Craig says, no manager can come in after 2 days and change a whole winning system under O'Neill. Chase this clown now back to his Mickey Mouse League he came from. He's Russell Martin, Mark II. Green Machine says, too big a game to change the system. That should be done gradually in the training ground. And Stevie, one of a few people teasing him about having a game of Connect 4. And just finally, guys, Scott says, Celtic are still favourites for the title, in my opinion. Rangers will struggle for consistency. How do you guys see it? Are Celtic still favourites to win the league?
Well, I would say yes. I would say yes, because I still think with the quality they've got within the squad, they have the ability to go on and take it forward with the right additions in January. But I do know that Hearts will make additions as well. But it's going to be a big ask for Hearts to keep going and keep going and keep going. There's no doubt about that.